gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Superman, Batman and Robin, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and the Wonder Twins, Zan and Jaina, with their space monkey, Gleek. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Welcome to the Why So Serious podcast. That's your host, Brandon. And Devin and Mike are back, and hearing that classic theme, you can tell that we're here to review Justice League, the movie, fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act. Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy. That's the synopsis of Justice League. It's kind of a little bit shitty, but Mike, what did you think about Justice League? What are your opening thoughts about Justice League?
I saw it twice. It's infinitely better in IMAX. The movie was made for IMAX. I recommend seeing it in IMAX. So much better in IMAX. Like the first time I watched it, the Atlantis scene was like, I couldn't even see it really. It was like hard to watch because like the quality was just really, it was dark. It was, I don't know. IMAX is great. That aside, story, I thought it was a fun movie. Batman was kind of boring in it, so I was disappointed in that because I love Batman, as everyone knows by now, probably. Wonder Woman was great. Flash, I talked about this with you earlier, Brandon, but I'm still annoyed. He was like dumber than I wanted him to be, and like afraid of everything, and I feel like that's not the Flash, so that annoyed me. Aquaman was awesome. Super excited for him. He's great. And to top it off, I was a little disappointed with the lack thereof Green Lantern references and or appearances. And Superman was weird. This is a spoiler review, I'm guessing we're doing, so.
Devin, what you think?
I think it was necessary. The movie was just necessary. The storytelling was like we talked about. It was a little fractured. I did think it was necessary just to move the story forward. Everybody's little piecing together was okay, but I love Aquaman. I don't think he can have his own movie and it'd be really good, but
no, it'll be good.
I actually think his movie will be really good.
Yeah, okay. It's gonna have Manta and Mira in it. I mean,
his movie's also being directed by
James Wan.
James Wan, who did the Saw movies, The Conjuring, those films.
Okay, so, well, cool. Because like I love Aquaman. I mean, whatever.
Me too. I'm pumped.
Jason Momoa.
He's amazing.
He's terrifying.
He's just a big dude. Cyborg pissed me off the whole movie. I just wanted him.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I just wanted him to be a lot more accepting. Not accepting, but I don't know. I just didn't like the whole I'm a pariah or I'm a monster, and then
well, that's actually
I guess I can help.
That I thought
that's how he is.
I thought that was one of the best parts of the film because the cyborg character is always a fight between like what makes a human. So the premise of the cyborg character is like, what really makes a human? Is it the body? Is it the mind? Is it the soul? Like, what makes it a human? So cyborgs always had this fight of being human or seeing himself as a human. So I like how the film took that and brought it to the big screen by basically making him question his humanity throughout the film. The problem I had with Cyborg is how they designed Cyborg. He was basically all robot except for half his face.
I agree, but they fixed it.
He should have. Well, they didn't fix this part. He should have been part cyborg, like human legs or parts of his leg. Or parts of his arm, like
well,
his comic books. He's entirely a machine, with the exception of his face on here. So it was kind of hard to see the complete. He's basically not a cyborg. A cyborg is a half human, half machine. He's basically 99.8% machine and then 0.2% human.
Right.
We don't know how many of his organs are in there. I mean, he could have. You know what I mean? I mean, his limbs are gone, but it looked like in Batman vs Superman, when you saw the test footage, it looked like he had his torso at least.
A little bit, yeah. They didn't.
I mean, he's got to have
that. Well, that goes into another. So basically, my opening thoughts on this movie is that this is not a good film. It wasn't a good movie, but it did what it had to do to try to move forward in the DCEU. But this film had a shitload of problems and a shitload of issues, and it was disjointed. It was poorly edited, bad CG, just a lot of issues wrong with the film. However, I think some of the character development of Cyborg and Aquaman and even the Flash was really good. Wonder Woman was, again, the star. She's been the star of this whole universe since it started. She was the best part of BVS. Her solo
Did
film.
we lose you?
Her
I think we lost him again.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Her solo.
You cut out.
Her solo film is the best her best movie out of all the DCEU, and she was great again in Justice League. So the more Wonder Woman, the better. I actually didn't have a problem with the Flash. The Flash was different. The only problem I had with the Flash was that horrific suit that they gave him.
And the way he ran, please.
Hell yeah, and the way he ran.
That was dumb.
That too. But the character, it's just a different Flash. He's not going to be that Flash forever.
Hey, I still liked him better than Grant Gustin. I know you love Grant Gustin. I still love him.
What?
They're two totally different characters.
Yeah.
So basically, the character they wrote on the movie was the Flash being a young Flash. Essentially, the Flash recently got his powers, and he doesn't fully know what they can do. He's not really been a hero for a long time. He hasn't really had a purpose, so he's kind of still just Barry Allen. And the Barry Allen that they wrote is a kind of a nerdy kid who is just like not into fighting and all this stuff, and that makes kind of corny jokes, and that's kind of what he was. But Ezra Miller played that character great, that they asked him to do.
Great job.
All the actors and actresses played their character exactly what they're asked to do. The problem
I hate Ben Affleck, so I'm just never going to be
but Ben Affleck does, but he's not a good Batman because of what they asked him to be. The Batman that they write is not a good Batman. So that gets me to some of my issues with the movie. And I'm going to say this, and Mike may not like it, but Batman was shit in this movie. There was nothing good about,
he was boring.
No. He was shit. All right, I wrote some things down. He
was useless.
I wrote some notes down in the film about Batman. One, how many times did Batman change suits? 3 times.
Once. I watched it the second time. Yeah, you told me this. I watched it the second
times.
Time. He changed 1 time.
No.
Twice.
You missed it the second time. He changed his suit twice. The suit that you saw
was the second one?
The suit that you saw him in the first time when he was on the roof with the fucking parademon was not the same suit he wore with the first time he was fighting, which was not the same suit he wore in the final battle. Those are 3 different suits, so he changed suits twice.
3 different suits.
Yeah, 3 different suits. And they never explain why he's changing suits. He doesn't say, well, this suit has such and such, so that's why I'm changing suits. He just shows up with a different fucking suit. Secondly, in BVS, he shows up to fight Superman with the fucking mech suit, gigantic armor, ready to go to battle. In this movie, he's fighting a fucking god, and he just shows up in his regular suit. No fucking armor, none of that. Like, okay.
I think his plan was to die.
His plan was not to die.
Yes, it was.
No.
Remember, he was luring all the parademons away, and he was going to buy them as much time as he could, and he was assuming that the parademons were going to overwhelm him until Wonder Woman made the call to save him.
So why wear a suit at all? Just go as Bruce Wayne if you plan to die.
No, I mean, obviously, no, because then when they discover his body, obviously they know who he is, but he's still going to wear a suit. I mean, why? But that's why he was going to die.
No, it's not like you're trying to justify the unjustifiable.
That's what he was going to do. And then he was surprised when Wonder Woman showed up.
Batman had no purpose on the team because he has no powers. He didn't use any gadgets.
I'm rich. That was a great line, though.
He didn't use any gadgets. The only gadget he used was his grapple hook. over and over and over and over and over and over. How many times are you going to grapple hook? Like, the whole key of Batman, of him to even exist in the world with these other four ultra powerful people, is the fact that, one, he's a great detective so he can figure shit out. Two, he's a great strategist. And three, he has all types of fucking cool ass gadgets to help him compete in battle. None of those things happen in this film. He didn't detective shit. He didn't his strategy was poo. They had to go fix it. And he didn't use any cool gadgets. So everything about Batman to me was off in this film. And that was all Zack Snyder. I blame Zack Snyder for all of that. Also,
they're trying to replace him.
Also,
I mean, Ben Affleck, not Zack. I mean, they did replace Zack Snyder, but I think Ben Affleck's on his way out.
Well, that's the rumor, but that has nothing to do.
I don't know how, unless they use Flashpoint, which is not close enough.
Well, why do they have to use Flashpoint? They just replace him. Movies do that shit all the time. Just replace him. Just act like he's been the same Batman the whole time.
Iron Man.
I think they want a younger one.
They did it with War Machine.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think they want a younger one. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to justify old Bruce Wayne and then this new young spry guy coming in.
Well, first of all, they fucked up by not
especially because they addressed this as a plot point in Justice League when Wonder Woman approaches him and she's like, "You can't do this forever," and then he's like, "I don't plan to."
They fucked up by not having a Robin in these movies. I don't know why DC doesn't want to have a Robin. Yeah. Robin is a big part of Batman.
Nightwing's getting a movie.
No, I didn't say Nightwing.
Isn't Joss Whedon's doing Batgirl? Nightwing has a movie coming out.
I didn't say Nightwing. Did I say Nightwing? Am I drunk? Did I say Nightwing? I'm pretty sure I didn't say Nightwing. I'm pretty sure I said Robin.
I don't know. You cut out for a second, so I just kept talking.
I'm pretty sure I said Robin.
I heard Robin, but I mean, I'm not going to judge.
No, Devin said Nightwing, and I'm just saying. Yeah,
I said Robin.
Why do you keep bringing up Nightwing? I said Robin.
Someone said Nightwing, and I was just saying that he had a movie.
They should have Robin, and it should be Tim Drake.
Forget
it. It should be Tim Drake and Robin.
It's trash.
And that should be the Robin in the universe, and they should have a Robin. So, if not having a Robin, it kind of throws some things off for me, especially when you have Batman at this age. You would think he would have a Robin, but he doesn't. So Batman has kind of been weird for me in these movies. Another thing that I want to talk about that I want you guys to talk about is they also act like we didn't watch these other films. So, like, at one point, Batman goes, Superman has always been a beacon of hope, and he's like my best friend. He was a good friend. He was a good friend or something like that. And I'm like, I watched Batman v Superman. At what point in this movie were you and Superman friends? Like, at no point in that film were you and Superman friends. So I'm not sure why you're acting or pretending for me, or you think that me, the viewer, didn't watch BVS and don't know that you were just trying to kill Superman until you realized that you and him had the same mom name at the end of the movie. So that was kind of crazy. The special effects were horrific, especially the last scene, which was just a bleeding red that just fucked up your eyes watching it in the theater. What else did I write down? They never explained Aquaman. So this goes to the cuts. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but this movie was very disjointed, and they just cut from things that didn't.
Well, you know what they've done with the last couple movies is they're going to release a director's cut with 30 minutes of extra footage, and everyone's going to buy it, including me, because
it's not going to be any better.
I won't.
It's only going to be worse. It's going to be all of Zack Snyder's bullshit that they cut out the film for good reason. I actually think cutting this movie down to under 2 hours was a good thing, because if Zack Snyder had his way, this would have been a 3-hour fucking slow, methodical, dark, boring fuckfest like BVS.
Yeah, you know why, right? It's because he was like distraught while making this. Did you hear like what happened to him?
What happened to him is sad.
His daughter like killed herself.
No. What happened to him is sad. That has nothing to do with his film. Because BVS was long and dark and boring and excessive. What are you talking? Watchmen, all his films are the same. But Zack Snyder cannot be left to do his own film. You need to rein Zack Snyder in. And when you let Zack Snyder do his own film, you get shit like Justice League and you get shit like BVS. I'm pretty sure if Joss Whedon would have came in and directed this entire film from the get-go, it would have been an infinitely better film than it was. You don't think so?
No, I agree.
Okay, so
yeah, you're right.
They don't explain Aquaman. At points in the film, Aquaman just shows up, and I'm like,
he's so cool though.
He just shows up. Like, there's no backstory, and I'm sure there's backstory there because if you watch the trailer, there's so many scenes in the trailer that don't even happen in the movie, which is good because I'm glad.
Well, did you see? So I was on Twitter, and I don't know if either of you know who Clay. I think it's Enos or Enos or whatever. He's like one of Warner Brothers' big photographers, and someone like took all these GIFs or GIFs, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, of all the shots that were not in the movie that were in the trailer, and they said I looked at the whole thread. There was like over 15 tweets of just all these shots that weren't in it, and they were like why are these not in? And then he responded, and he said something like, in due time, like all in due time, which didn't really help. Let me look it up.
But they shouldn't have been in the film. They were all bullshit. You know how many parts in this film that you could tell that Joss Whedon came in and took out some dark, like this desperate, fucking despondent.
No, but they weren't all bad. Like, hold on, let me find them. They were
bad.
One of them was just them standing together, and how about the big one where he was like, he said you'd be coming. Let's just hope you're not too late. Like,
that's not a big scene because everybody knows it's Superman. I told you this from the beginning. You got your fanboy bullshit panties in a bunch. Oh, it could be the Green Lantern. It could be Jon Stewart. I don't know who it is. And I told you, fucking Superman. It's obvious it's Superman. And it's a stupid way to introduce Superman. Why would Superman come talk to Alfred? It's stupid. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm sure Joss Whedon saw that scene and said, this makes no fucking sense. I'm taking it out of the film. It's dumb.
I think Clay got rid of this tweet. I can't find it.
The problem is Zach Snyder.
Oh, I found it.
Zach Snyder is full of himself, and he makes these films and he makes these scenes that nobody wants to see. Except,
no, look, one of them is Victor Stone playing football. There's a bunch of them. Victor Stone.
Why? You know how? Okay. Do you know how long?
Barry breaking some glass.
Do you know how long this movie would be?
Cyborg telling the cops they should move. Cyborg putting his mask on. That
Who needs any of that shit?
That didn't make it. Aquaman standing dramatically.
Who needs any of that?
Bruce Wayne looking at a hologram of Superman.
Who cares?
His response was, so someone tweeted, I was robbed with all these things. And then another person shared that and said, this is depressing, all the hard work down the drain. And then his response was, it'll all be okay eventually.
Yeah, because they're complaining about bullshit. That would have just made the movie worse. Nobody wants to sit through a 3.5 hour fucking superhero movie. Like,
I almost fell asleep like 3 times in that movie. Like,
nobody wants to. Batman v Superman was so fucking boring, and no, the director's cut was not any better. It was just longer.
Thought it was better.
You thought it was better.
That made more sense.
You thought the regular movie was good.
The problem with the regular movie was that they cut out the one scene that was cut the most was probably one of the most important scenes of the movie plot wise because they cut all the scene where Superman is in the desert saving Lois Lane is what they cut up the most, and in the scene in the extended cut, it's where like they frame him for they make it look like he burned all those soldiers, which they didn't do in the standard version. So the whole movie you're wondering why the world was pissed at Superman in the first place. Do you know what I mean?
That is irrelevant. The whole film, you're looking at a scene. That scene doesn't fix.
Yeah, but that scene was the driving point in the movie because why
no,
were we
it's
even
not.
mad at
The whole movie was bad. The whole movie was written poorly. The whole movie's plot was poor. It shouldn't have been.
I agree that
way.
we need to get rid of Zack Snyder, and I think I will say this: this movie was not what it should have been. But I think it was like the closing of one series of DC movies and the opening of a whole. Like we got James Wan coming in, we got Joss Whedon doing a Batgirl movie supposedly. We got him, you know what I mean? All these new directors like Patty Jenkins did Wonder Woman and it was great. Like so, only the movies that Suicide Squad, yeah. But other than that, the only movies that were really bad were the ones that were touched by Snyder. I guess it's all of them though.
Yeah, so Zack Snyder did this CGI for fucking Wonder Woman, which wasn't good.
He's gone. Go. I mean, Zack Snyder's done.
Zack Snyder's got to go. It wasn't good, and this film has so many issues. And the problem with it is the DC can't afford to have a film with this many issues, which is why you see the box office as it is. There's no reason why this Justice League movie shouldn't have been the highest grossing movie of 17, with maybe the exception of Star Wars.
I was about to say, I don't know what the fuck you were talking about. Yeah.
But even without that, like, there's no reason this movie shouldn't have made over $1 billion, or won't make over $1 billion. It shouldn't make over $1 billion, and it's not going to come anywhere close. There's no reason. There's no way if you talk to somebody in 2007 before the MCU started and saying, I'll give you two options. Which movie will make more money? A movie with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and Hawkeye, and Black Widow, or a movie with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and Aquaman. Nobody in the world would say the first movie would make money. They wouldn't even say it's close. Nobody in the world would say that. Now we're at a point.
Who's Hawkeye? Black Widow?
Now we're at a point where people expect the movie with Captain America and Iron Man to make $1 billion, and the movie with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman will be lucky to break $800 million. And people say, well, you're talking about the money. Well, the money matters because the money shows the interest in the films and how people are receiving these films. Superhero movies make money if they're good. They make a shitload of money. And this movie opened up at the same as Iron Man 1, which is dreadful, absolutely dreadful. And it shows that people have lost interest and lost faith in the DCEU, and they have to do something to fix that. They've got to do, and I think this might have been a step in that direction, but the film was still...
I mean, it was fun to watch.
It was fun to watch, but a lot of the fun to watch was Joss Whedon coming in, bringing some brevity to the film. There is a clear distinction in this film between scenes that Zach Snyder shot and scenes that Joss Whedon shot. You can see that when you watch the film. You can see what was in the original cut of the film and what Joss Whedon did in reshoots and how he tried to change the film. It's obvious.
I agree. You could just tell, like, the lightness in, like, the Flash and some of the humor with Aquaman, because, like, when Bruce Wayne was in the tavern trying to fuck with Arthur and shit like that, it looked like it could have been real dark the whole time. But then after he walked out, Aquaman's cracking jokes and shit and being real, like, he's short with Batman and shit.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Mike, what happened at the end of BVS? What was the last thing you see when BVS goes off?
Aquaman in a tank or some shit?
No. You see the casket and dirt, like, levitating for a split second.
Okay, and so what did this movie play on that?
Nothing.
What was the point of that?
I think that was just to explain that he'll come back.
Yeah, but why was he? That means he was already coming back when he was in the casket.
Can we talk about something that did happen at the end of the movie, but I'm talking about the very, very end.
No, we'll get to that later. We're talking about the film right now, not the after credit scene. So you have a scene basically saying that Superman is not dead. That is the implication of the last scene of BVS. Am I wrong? Did I not get that? Did you guys not get that?
You're right.
I ruined my birthday. I'm never gonna even acknowledge I saw that movie.
They have an entire film and don't acknowledge that at all.
How are they going to explain that he came back because of some? This was a more logical way to bring him back.
Listen,
first of all, fuck that. This sorcery, witchcraft, exorcism they try to do in the movie, like that shit. I ain't really fuck with it. I didn't really like that shit at all.
My friend was watching it next to me, and he was horrified that they dug up his grave.
Right.
The less I think about the movie, like when I first saw the movie, the more I think about the movie, the more I realize this was not a good movie. Like, the more I think about what happened in this film, the more it makes me, like, upset.
I said, it was necessary. It wasn't bad and it wasn't good. It was just necessary to...
Yeah, I agree with that. Shit. I don't think it was terrible. I mean, I think it was not bad, not good. I think Devin's right.
Here's another thing. If Bruce Wayne, he claims he felt he was fueled by the restored faith in humanity inspired by Superman's selfless act. He felt really guilty about what happened with Superman and what happened to Clark and how he's going to be a better person because of that. Why didn't he keep the Kent family farm in Smallville? Why didn't he just, I'm super fucking rich. I'm going to pay for the farm in Smallville for your family.
Right. And Martha can keep the crib, yeah.
It took Superman coming back for him to do that? Like, these are plot points that you may say, oh, this is small, this is a nitpicky thing, but it all builds to the character of the people you're trying to put on the screen. Like, if you're trying to tell me that the Bruce Wayne character was inspired by Superman and he looked at Superman as a friend and he regrets what he did and all this and that, then the Bruce Wayne character would know about this going on and he would try to do something about it.
Right, and Bruce Wayne is that guy. Like, so he would have already bought that house. Like, Martha wouldn't have to worry about shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Mike, what did you think about Steppenwolf, the villain?
He was kind of cringy. First, my friend was making a lot of really funny comments in the movie, but we were sitting there and he kept making all these comments about Mother. And then my friend leaned over and said something about him having a what's it called?
Oedipus complex.
He's like, this dude's into some Oedipus shit. I was like, he was really annoying. His CGI was pretty bad, and he was just, I also think we weren't ready for any apocalyptic characters yet. Anyone from Apocalypse. I think the Justice League should have been brought together with something a little smaller. But even in the comics, they do these world-ending big events for the Justice League to come.
Okay,
and it's I didn't like the Rebirth version or the New 52.
To be fair, the Justice League is so OP that you need something big to fight. Like, the idea that you have Superman and Wonder Woman in the first place, that you definitely need something super overpowered to fight. Then you add the Flash, who can literally run through time. And then you have a living cyborg. Like, you got to have some, like...
Yeah,
you got to have something big.
Like Steppenwolf.
I mean, I didn't care for Steppenwolf. I thought he looked horrible. He was unnecessarily large. He was so fucking large compared to everything else, which just made it look kind of cartoonish.
I don't know why he looked like a monster. Like, have you ever seen what he looks like in the comic books?
Yeah.
He just looks like a guy.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's Zach Snyder.
He wears he's just a guy with some armor on. I mean, and in the movie, he's got in the BVS when you see him in the extended cut, it looks like he's got he doesn't look anything like he looks in Justice League. By the way, I don't know if you caught that.
Who doesn't?
So in BVS, the extended cut, there's a shot where Lex Luthor sees Steppenwolf, and Steppenwolf is holding all three mother boxes, which obviously is now apparent that that made no sense at all. But if you look at the shot of him in Batman vs. Superman, he looks like a vampire. He doesn't even have eyes or a mouth. He's just he looks weird. I'm looking at it right now. But in the comics, he looks like a dude with armor, like a normal-sized guy. I mean, he's powerful, but he doesn't need to be huge and with the weird chin that he had going on there, and
So this is going to make you upset, Mike.
He's just you know what I mean?
I definitely understand what you're talking about, definitely, but yeah, the war was supposed to be right. Yeah, it's just you have this everybody coming together as far as the Olympians the Amazons, people from Earth and the Atlanteans, fight a regular war.
Like, how big is Darkseid gonna be compared to Steppenwolf?
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna
Darkseid is Darkseid is not going to come now. So they are doing.
They're gonna need Shazam, and they're gonna need all the other heroes that they plan on putting in.
Yeah, well, they're taking it a different route. They're going away from this was originally supposed to be like a 2-part series, Justice League Part 1 and Part 2. And they broke it down into 2 separate movies because they decided not to go with the Steppenwolf on to Darkseid story. And you can tell that's where the movie was originally going by some of the parts in the movie. But they changed it to...
the Injustice League.
Yeah, they changed it to the Injustice League, which was interesting.
Much better.
Here's another thing, Mike. You said you wanted to hear about you were disappointed with the Green Lanterns. Do you know what one of the deleted scenes will be and what one of the scenes in the film were?
What?
One of the deleted scenes that you'll see when it comes out, and it was originally in the film either as the after credit scene or part of the film itself, was apparently 2 apparently some members of the Green Lantern Corps coming to meet with Bruce. Which I say, why the fuck would the Green Lantern Corps come talk to Bruce?
Why not?
Why would they?
I'm not talking Superman.
Like, why would they come talk to anybody? That's not how the Green Lantern Corps works. Somebody fucking dies, and the ring flies off, and it goes and flies.
It depends what they want. I don't know.
There's no lanterns on Earth currently. So why the fuck would they be on Earth talking to Batman?
Maybe they want the help of the Justice League.
They don't know it's a fucking Justice League. The Justice League just got together. How would they know?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know what they want. We have to see what they say. I'll have to wait.
No. See, this is you being a fanboy. So supposedly Tomar, like the Green Lantern, looks like a fish, like has like the fins, and Kilowog were supposed to somehow come to Earth and talk to Bruce.
I can only imagine what they looked like.
Yeah. Okay, it says Justice League came to their friends working on film posted the following regarding the supposed cut posted. The original after credit scene that was shot in principal photography was Bruce being woken in the night in his lake house by green light and being visited by Tomar and Kilowog. Why? See, this is my problem with the DC. This makes me so angry. Why would that even happen? Like, there's no reason for that to happen in the film. And the idea that I'm glad they cut that out. This is what I'm saying. Like, the film that we got, I think, is the best possible film that we could have got in Justice League. Because the original, I'm pretty sure the original film that we saw
would have been horrible.
Would have been horrific. It would have been horrible, which is why they did all these cuts and changes to the film. Because when Joss Whedon got on this film and he probably saw this cut, he said, "This is bad. We can't do this. We can't do this." And it's bad. So another thing is some of the. All right, let's just talk. Well, I talked about a lot of things I didn't like. Let's talk about some of the things that we did like. I did like that flashback scene of the first time Steppenwolf came to Earth, and
the whole war being
the whole war fighting. I thought that was really cool and really well done. And we got to see Artemis and all the old gods fighting. Some people thought it was Shazam. It was not Shazam.
It was Zeus.
It was Zeus. Yes, it was Zeus in that scene. But we did see a lantern in that scene. Sun
that was
Lantern. Cool. I'm assuming he's the Lantern from Sector 2218, but I don't think it was an Earthling. It looked like an alien, which was cool. What's something else that you liked in the film, Devin?
Definitely like when Steppenwolf went to Themyscira and was fucking them up. That shit was good. And just seeing the Amazon hold their own and like shoot the fucking box to each other, and then he finally snuffing them out. That shit was dope. Shout out to Mercedes-Benz for putting all that great product in the goddamn movie. I don't care. I don't know what the fuck Mercedes that was that Bruce had. But when I saw that fucking...
I saw a thing on that. So that was a car that they built specifically for the film. So it was basically a custom car that they built specifically for the film, and it didn't actually work.
That shit was everything.
And in the real cut of it, they had something in the back that pushes
Mara.
the car.
I don't know if you guys agree. Mara's awesome.
Yeah, Mara's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought you guys were done talking. You cut out again. Didn't mean to cut you off.
But Mara didn't do anything in the film. She had a pointless...
She used her powers for a second. It was a nice little cameo. It was good.
It was a pointless scene. What was the point of it?
What do you mean? Literally just show off Mara.
Okay, that's pointless. You shouldn't have scenes in the film of such big characters. Mara is a huge character in the Aquaman lore. Don't even put her in the film if you're not going to put her in the film for a reason. Which is, for example...
She furthered his plot point because it shows you where he stands on the whole, like, being king of Atlantis thing.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. Yeah. What are you talking about? No, it didn't.
He was like, never mind.
Fight your battle. Like, stand on your
I'm just saying, in the new 52, I think it's her she's the one who approaches him, and she's like, Your mom was the queen of Atlantis. She's gone now. You're her firstborn. You need to be the king, because tension between the surface world and Atlantis is really bad. And since you're of both worlds, you can bring the peace. And he's like, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of this. And she's clearly mad at him for being so spiteful, I guess. Of
where was all of this that you're talking about in the movie? None of this was in the movie. Saying.
But you can see that first of all, he makes a comment and he's like, I don't care for the surface. I don't care for Atlantis. I don't care about anything. And she's like, it's time for you to actually get up and do. I guess you need to have a little bit of background of your own knowledge to understand. But I got it. I thought I was getting she was fed up with him and she was trying to push him to move and he finally moved.
So why did Mira have to create an air bubble to talk to Aquaman?
Oh, yeah, that was dumb.
See, these are things that I noticed when I watched the film.
I didn't understand that either.
These things don't make any sense. They just
probably, I thought of that in the movie, and it's probably because they didn't know how to make it sound they didn't. I don't know if they were ready to put all the money into the effects for that yet.
What do you mean effects? Aquaman just talks normal when he's underwater.
Don't you think it would sound a little muffled?
No, that's not how. No. You just read a ton of Aquaman comics. At what point did they make it seem like he sounds muffled?
Well, how do you write that?
Easily. You write with sound effects, but you don't.
All right,
Have you ever seen an Aquaman cartoon? Does he sound muffled when he's in the water in the cartoon? No.
All right, I agree with you. He should just talk, and I don't know what they're going to do.
You may think these are just nitpicky, but these are things that's part of the universe and why they keep messing up over and over and over and over and over again. I really want it to be good. I really want the movies.
That makes me think. When you say Aquaman, that's crazy. So I know you have to show live action. You have to show air bubbles and shit, but I've never seen Aquaman have air bubbles because he doesn't breathe air.
Yes. There's things like that just... but we were talking about good stuff. Mike, tell me something else you enjoyed about the film. By the way, Aquaman didn't have a trident.
Yeah, he did.
That wasn't a trident.
It was a sitting...
That's his pitchfork.
Why does Zach Snyder continue to do that? Why can't he just give the characters their weapon? First he gives Robin a fucking battle axe. Now he gives Aquaman a pitchfork. Just give him the fucking trident. How hard is it to do that?
I would love to see a conversation between you and Zach Snyder. I would love to hear it.
And here's another thing before you go. Okay, we'll talk about it now because... Okay, you really enjoyed this scene at the after credits scene with Deathstroke. So, spoiler: Deathstroke shows up. Basically,
he hate Jesse Eisenberg.
He helps get Lex Luthor out of jail. He shows up at Lex Luthor's yacht, which is fucking awesome. And he says, "I think it's about time we start a league of our own." Ha 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 ha. And you see Deathstroke, right? And I was like, "Oh, this is cool. We get to see Deathstroke." But you know what else I thought? I just saw Superman show up and punch a god in the face and knock him out and basically destroy him single-handedly. But I'm supposed to believe that he can't beat Deathstroke? Really?
No, I think that you're supposed... I think they're going to do parallels for each member of the league. Superman's going to be preoccupied with whatever Lex Luthor decides to throw at him, while Batman's taking on Deathstroke, Aquaman's taking on Mana, and...
By the way, Deathstroke is a Teen Titans villain more than a Batman villain.
Yeah, but... I don't know. I mean,
those video games got them popping.
Also, I will say this. I will say this. I love the Deathstroke scene, but the hair dye was a little noticeable to me. He's a little young to be playing someone with gray hair. That much gray hair, anyway. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine.
I left the movie. I didn't even stay, so I didn't see it. So, yeah.
And by the way, the Flash TV show has better visuals for the Flash than this movie. That had,
oh my God! I was waiting to get to that, but that shit was terrible. Like,
why did the Flash have blue lightning? Why?
And why is it?
Why?
It's residue. Why? Like, why is he having lightning residue?
Why? Like every Flash I've ever seen in any.
Wait, what do you mean residue?
Like when he would leave, it's residue lightning. It's not even like his lightning.
And every Flash and every iteration of the Flash I've ever seen on TV shows, comic books, cartoons, video games, he's always had yellow lightning. Why does he have blue lightning in the fucking films? Why? Whose idea is this? Like, why would you change that? Why would you give him a fucking spacesuit? How did Barry Allen get his hands on a spaceship material? How? He doesn't even have a job. How does he have that layer with all that technology with no fucking job? Because we see a scene in the film where he goes to talk to his dad, and he's talking to his dad about how he doesn't have a job, and he's not doing anything in life.
He said he had like a couple jobs.
He doesn't have like a real job.
Yeah, they all pay shit. Yeah, you're right.
He don't have no money to afford that shit. And where did he get his hands on spaceship material from NASA to build his?
Did you see what he was staying though? All the computers and shit he had in his crib.
Yeah, that doesn't explain any like these things.
That's a high electric bill right there.
These things frustrate the shit out of me because they can do so much better. Because you know how you can do so much better when you watch Marvel films. Not all of them have been perfect, but the majority of them address the details. You have the details of the film and why certain things are the way that they are. You wouldn't go to some poor character on the Marvel film and go to his house like Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man Homecoming. We didn't go to Spider-Man Homecoming's dorm and he had all types of fucking crazy gadgets and rich shit. He lived like a fucking high school student. Just a really smart high school student who could hack into shit. He had a computer. And he stole shit. In fact, he made his webbing from shit from science class that he stole at school because that's what a high school student would do. If DC had Spider-Man, he would go back to his room and he'd have a secret entrance to this room with all this crazy technology and shit that he builds all this stuff at, which is just ridiculous. And I don't understand why they keep doing that.
Very valid point.
I mean, you're right. I agree. we need some change, but it was still fun to watch. I think.
Yeah.
Batman's gadgets weren't good. They weren't good gadgets. We didn't get no Batmobile and this shit. We got a bootleg Batwing.
Also, in the God, fuck man! Every second I keep thinking of something more that pissed me off. In the trailer. You have Steppenwolf doing the monologue over top of the trailer. And at one point he goes, no more Kryptonians. And he says, no more lanterns, right? Isn't a Green Lantern not supposed to be on Earth, but for a sector that includes Earth? And which would mean when the Green Lantern dies, it goes to somebody else in that sector, right? The ring finds somebody else, right? The way this movie is presented is such that there hasn't been a Green Lantern in the Earth sector for thousands of years, which I would say, why hasn't there been a Green Lantern of this sector for thousands of years when they're supposed to be in the sector? And why wouldn't the Green Lantern show up when if the Green Lantern showed up on Earth the first time that Steppenwolf invaded? Why didn't he show up the second time that Steppenwolf invaded?
I mean, you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, these things make no sense. God, it
annoys me because I really wanted this to do well, but
I did too. And don't get me wrong. I see like I said, this movie was not good, but it was not Batman v Superman bad. It was not Suicide Squad bad. It's worth going to see. And it corrected some of the issues. It corrected Superman and made him more like the Superman that most people are used to. It gave us an interesting Aquaman character that a lot of people can get behind. They had a good performance by Ezra Miller as Flash. Wonder Woman is still great. And Cyborg, they told a good story with Cyborg that actually made me interested in his story a little bit and what they're going to do with his film if it ever comes out. And Batman is Batman. That needs some work, but he's the cash cow of DC, so if they make a Batman film, that'll be okay, too. I guess the last thing we'll do is give it a score. Devin, what would you give this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm gonna give it a solid 6 because, again, it was very fractured, but you did get the character development that you kind of needed to push the story forward. Wonder Woman was great in it. Flash was good other than his running and his lightning. Cyborg is a good story. I hate Batman. I mean, I hate Ben Affleck, so I couldn't fuck with Batman the whole movie. Superman, I don't fucking like that version of Superman. I don't like fucking that redhead Lois Lane. I
don't like Amy Adams.
Yeah. And so, yeah, just a 6. But I tell people to go see it. It's good for what the people that don't read the comic books and don't really have a following of like DC. They just want to see a superhero movie. I say go watch it, and you'll have fun. You'll enjoy it.
Mike, what would you give it?
Yeah, I'm giving it a 6 too. I was gonna, so pretty much for the same reason that Devin said. It was fun. Like, you'll have a good time watching it. I still say everyone should see it in IMAX if you're gonna go see it. If you're gonna go drop the money, pay the extra for IMAX, because I don't know if you guys saw it in IMAX, but that movie was definitely made for IMAX. I saw it twice because I took my girlfriend and then my friends wanted to go, and I saw it in IMAX with my friends, and that movie was definitely made for IMAX. But so not that it makes it any better story-wise, but it's more visually. Like, I'm not even kidding. I saw it twice, and like that first time, that Atlanta scene was hard to watch in standard. It was like, I mean, you could see what was going on, but I don't know if you kind of have to see it, I guess, to understand what I'm saying. But I
know what you're talking about. We all know what you're talking about. I mean, but like, it wasn't super bad for me. It's just like, whatever.
Yeah,
I saw Airbubbles and shit.
Like, you'll be like, regardless of the plot of the story, if you see this movie, I'd actually be like, oh, that looks really cool.
Man, it's beautiful, gorgeous. Like, yeah, Star Wars movies are just gorgeous. So,
oh, you have to see Star Wars in IMAX.
God damn! I just thought about something else I hated. Fuck.
Go for it.
God, this might be the stupidest part. Clark Kent had a funeral in BVS.
Hell yeah. Go for it.
How are they going to explain that Clark Kent is back?
Ooh, that's good.
Jesus. That's good. This fucking film, man. I don't know what he was thinking about writing this film. It's just, oh my God. Whatever. Okay, yeah, I agree. I give it a 6 as well. It's worth seeing. It's interesting. It's fun. It course corrects some things, but it was not a good movie. Had a lot of issues, as we've talked about in this film. But if you like superhero films and you want to see these characters that you love and grew up with on screen, go see the film and hope that it does better going forward. So thank you guys for listening to our Justice League review. We will be back soon with a couple more reviews and more podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. Also subscribe to the podcast. And we will be back soon. Thanks.